Welcome to Sports, Wheels, and Reels with Jeff Miller and Austin Horton. One show, two guys, three topics, unlimited possibilities. Presented by Mark Miller Subaru. Engage with us on social media or email us at podcast@mmsubaru.com. And now, welcome your hosts, Jeff Miller and Austin Horton.
Episode 48 of Sports, Wheels, and Reels. He's Jeff. I'm Austin. Hi, Jeff.
Hey.
How's life?
Good. It's been a few weeks.
It's been like 16 weeks, according to Twitter. We have one loyal listener on Twitter. Well, they're all loyal, but we have one extra.
Really
loyal.
mad.
He does.
Okay, so we're back.
Lyle, we're here.
We're back.
We're here
back
to
for
talk
you.
just to you, Lyle. We're going to talk about sports, wheels, and reels. Coming up in sports, lots of jazz news, the NBA playoffs, and in wheels, there's some electric news in the headlines.
Yep. And some EV stuff for Subaru.
And then some movies that we've seen recently and we're going to see soon.
And I actually went to a movie theater.
Jeff went to a movie theater like it was 1996.
Crazy.
We'll talk to you next on Sports, Wheels, and Reels. Be right back.
I'm Spencer Kofed, and my Subaru is Extreme Adventure. Outback's really great for my lifestyle. It has just enough space for all my gear, but it's not crazy big of a footprint. If any of my friends were looking to buy a Subaru, I'd recommend Mark Miller Subaru, so you never feel like they're hiding stuff from you. Whether it's skiing, skydiving, mountain bikes, surfing, my Subaru gets me out on my adventures. Subaru is a brand I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the Utah retailer that I love.
All right, Jeff, let's talk Utah Jazz sports.
Utah Jazz. Draft lottery, they didn't win.
They didn't win, which was shocking to literally nobody. In fact, it all went exactly how it should have gone. It's 100% rigged. It is just silliness.
Just rigged for San Antonio to get another big man that's going to be a legend.
I mean, if there was ever an exhibit to prove that it was rigged, it's that a small market team gets the number one pick.
Do
This
you buy the
rigged
hype?
stuff. Do I buy the hype of Victor Wembanyama? Yeah, I 100% do.
First year All-Star?
First year All-Star? Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that I think we're going to have a ironclad, either this is how small market teams have to do it, or the NBA is going to need to change things drastically. Because this will be the third time San Antonio
Has blatantly
tanks
tanked to get a draft pick.
and then wins titles with said draft pick. And the Jazz refused to lose games last year.
Should they have?
Yes, they should have. I love Lauri Markkanen, and in a moment we'll talk about how much I love Lauri Markkanen.
I mean, they would have had to bench everybody, trade everybody. There's no way.
They did trade everybody.
Yeah, but
They literally traded everyone.
They would have had to before the season, because by the time they got to the point of the All-Star break, they were too far.
Yeah,
they were too far to get down to tank level, the San Antonio tank level.
What I mean is they traded. They were set up to tank, and then Will Hardy was too good of a coach.
And Markkanen was too good.
And Lauri Markkanen was too
Kessler
good.
was too good. And Nagbaji's too good.
I talked to you several times. Lauri Markkanen should have had a sore back.
For the whole season.
He should have maybe started his military thing like in
But the Jazz don't do that.
December of last year.
Jazz just don't do that.
And they won't win titles either until they
of
do
that.
it. Yeah.
So here's the other question. So the rumor out there is Portland shopping.
Yes.
Third pick. What do you give up? If you're the Jazz, what do you give up to get Scoot Henderson? Probably Scoot. Maybe Brandon Miller. But most likely Scoot Henderson.
See, and that's where they're great. They're really good. They're not Wembanyama great.
No.
And so I don't. There is a
You give
big
up the
chasm.
world for Wembanyama. But
I would. I'd give up anybody and
the entire
anyone.
roster for it. Yeah.
I love you, my children, but
Do you give up Markkanen?
No, not for number
Do you give
3.
up Kessler?
I might.
You get Kessler,
I might.
Agbaji, and our 9 pick.
No, that's too much. I'd give up either Abaji and Kessler at the 9 pick.
Okay.
But
Portland do that?
no, they wouldn't.
And Portland do all 3 of them?
No, I don't think they would either.
So the reason they're doing it is because they want to build around Dame.
Well,
Here's
yeah.
your other pick. The other side of that is if they draft Scoot, do they want to trade Dame?
That's what I'm thinking is, would you trade?
Would you trade those guys for Dame?
Yep, I would. I 100% would.
So Kessler,
And I know he's got like 5 good years left.
Kessler, Agbaji, and the 9 pick for Dame.
I would do it.
and take on his 45, 52, 58, and 64 million or something like that for the next 4 years.
Ryan's got the money. He'll be all right.
But there's logic to it, because if you did that, then you have your other draft picks and you still have those other picks, and you get those guys developing while you're still pretty good.
And Dame has – this is it for Dame.
Dame and Markkanen would be a playoff team.
They would make some
noise.
They'd make some trouble for a lot of teams. And then you add in the Agbaji growth. But if you've had to trade him for Dame, then...
Yeah, you have to get rid of Agbaji.
But now the Jazz are having, 3 in the top 16? No, 3 in the top
first round. So they've got 9,
the other
9 16, and 28.
28,
There's a lot of good players. I mean, they could hit on some of those. I think Danny's going to be very active, is my guess. There's a lot of phone calls ringing in Jazz front offices for the next month.
Yeah, there's a lot of time between now and the draft.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Lots going on.
Speaking of...
But of course, the Spurs win.
Spurs win. Get used to it.
Win. They're always winning.
They used to, for years, they'd say, we followed the Utah Jazz model. No, they were mocking the Utah Jazz.
So the other trade rumor out there, Doncic. What do you give up for him?
Do
you give up Markkanen?
Yes.
Markkanen.
And I love Larry Markkanen.
Markkanen, Agbaji, and Kessler.
I give anything. Anything and anybody for...
Every one of our draft picks.
Yep. All of them.
Just the world.
I would rename the team whatever you want it to be renamed.
Give them ownership.
The Utah Dallas Lovers would be the new... I would just do whatever it takes. Because he is...
one of those guys.
He's one of the best 100 to ever do it when he finishes his career.
Yeah.
He moves into that.
If you get one of those guys, you have to do whatever it takes to get him.
Yes.
If you have a long-term deal.
Right. And then the question is, do you have enough to win with him? I don't care from a team owner standpoint because he brings in butts. People are going to come to games. Huh?
So is the team right now. They've got 215 straight sellouts.
For now. But I think that he is the type that is good enough no matter what you put around him, he can win. With a caveat, with an asterisk. Has he become a diva? Is he the problem in Dallas? Or was it Jason Kidd? I want to believe it's Jason Kidd.
You can't say was it. They're still together.
No, for now.
Jason Kidd's still there. He hasn't been fired.
Dallas did not get their pick that they wanted. That was my favorite moment, by the way, from the draft lottery. Was whoever that, I forget who was there for Dallas.
It was what's his name? The old Nike executive, Nico Harrison.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he just looked very angry.
Because he thought the NBA was going to set him up.
Yes.
He was hoping for because it's not rigged.
It's not rigged.
You think Ernst & Young would rig that thing?
I do think Ernst & Young would rig it, yes.
Okay.
But I don't think the NBA would.
That's right. Okay.
And Miss Universe and all that stuff, yeah.
All right. NBA playoffs. Did you watch the game last night?
I saw the highlights of the game last
LeBron's
night.
non-dunk?
He's
getting older.
He's a little older now.
He's still really good, though.
He's long in the teeth.
What would you trade for LeBron?
Nothing.
Okay.
Love you, dog. But you're good there. Yeah.
Nothing for LeBron.
Maybe a hot dog. I don't know. Yeah.
You put butts in the seats.
J-Dogs. He would put. Yeah, his butt is going to be in a seat soon. He did not.
No.
But is he going to win it all again, Jeff?
No.
If you had to guess right now,
I predicted Denver in 5.
Still could happen.
I think the Lakers might sneak a game, but Denver's much better than the Lakers.
Yes. Unfortunately,
I like Austin Reeves, but
you mean the lead singer of Green Day?
There's a lot of hype there of who's around him. You put him on another team, I don't know if he's doing what he's doing now.
Did you see his new hair color?
His new hair color?
Like jet black hair color in the post game, and
Fancy.
Everyone thought he looked like, what is the guy from Green Day? Billy Dean or whatever his name is. Billy Joel. No, Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Come from
Billy Bob Thornton. Billy something.
Then how about Boston losing to Miami?
I love Miami. I thought when these series began that we were going to have a bubble rematch. Lakers Heat.
I love Jimmy Butler.
He's my favorite NBA player.
A lot for Jimmy Butler.
He is my favorite player, yeah. I would trade Luka Doncic for now. Probably not. Well, maybe.
You're just renaming the team the Luka Doncic's.
But Jimmy Butler wasn't being offered at that
Name them
moment.
the Jimmy Butlers.
The Jimmys. Well, no, we'll have to rethink that.
That's not going to work.
All right.
Okay. But
So
who's going to win?
I'm guessing that it's going to be the Miami Heat as the NBA champion.
No.
You still on Denver,
Still
huh?
Boston. No, Boston.
Oh, Boston.
It's gonna be
Really?
Boston, Denver in the final. Boston in 6.
Bleh, bleh, bleh.
I know you don't like it.
I don't want either of those teams to ever win a single game.
And
Denver
then-
or Boston.
Then Jaylen Brown gets traded to the Jazz.
Ugh. Great. He's great.
That you can then.
But because if he comes to the Jazz, he's suddenly the guy. And is he the guy?
I think he's one of
You
those
think so?
guys.
Would you trade Larry Markkinen for him?
No.
Yeah. Well,
There's not many people I trade Larry Markkinen for. I think he's a cool. I think if you
Luka
get a,
Doncic and Jesus.
you get
That's
a
about
you
it.
get a
yeah.
big man like that.
Shuttlesworth, by the way.
You build your team around big men. You get a guy like that you can play that can get around the perimeter and things like that. You can't get rid of him. He's one of those guys.
Well, it's a lot of fun right now.
It is. I mean, there's going to be a lot of action coming up in the next month and rumors and crazy stuff happening.
And I didn't put it on the docket, but before we break, what are your thoughts on Ja Morant?
Right.
Ja Morant, if I might.
The rumor right now is that it's gonna be a half a season.
Oh my gosh.
That they're going to suspend him for half a season. And JJ Redick the other day on Crossover went off on it.
You mean the new Toronto Raptors head coach, maybe?
I like JJ Redick.
Yeah, I do too.
I've always liked JJ Redick.
I wish he would have found his way to Utah.
I love JJ Redick. But yeah, he went off about it like, okay, like it's bad. And he gives it. Like, it's very bad what he's doing. Ja Morant's being an idiot and he should be suspended. But half a season, things like that, when you've got, and he made it a political thing, and I've got no problem with him making it a political thing. When you've got,
Well, it's half a season, that's a political
when you have
thing.
congressmen putting Christmas cards holding AK-47s, and
Yeah.
you're going to give him a half a
Yeah.
season, like, that's crap.
Yeah.
Like, they can do that without any punishment, anything at all, and then you're going to give this young black man this kind of penalty. Like, I agree with him. Like, I think he should be suspended. He should get another 5 games. If he does it again, maybe it's 15. I mean, like, it needs to be an escalating.
Well, I think it ought to be. I think it needs. I think the only way to get to Ja Morant and his people, that will then get to Ja Morant and say stop it, is to penalize him monetarily heavily.
Yeah, like, but you talk about a guy who's making $30 million a year, a 10-game suspension. That's a what? $3 million fine.
I think he needs to pay $1 million a game to families of shooting victims until
there needs to be something.
it's over, and because I think that's the only way he learns and stops it,
You ever seen the memes of?
or it ends
Have
badly.
you seen the memes with him and the Eminem rap stuff?
Yes.
He went to a private school.
That's the thing that's yeah. Oh.
But, like, he's not a gangster.
And you shouldn't. The sad thing is he's not, and the culture I think has done such a good job of trying to say you can be anything you want to be as a black person in this country. This country set up for them to lose until like 1994, and then there was still is stuff that's set up to make them further off than kids like my kids, and yet. Rich, successful young men like Ja then take that culture back and undo a lot of it by wanting to be that gangster. And then kids see Ja on Instagram and TikTok and want to be that. And it's just a cycle.
And now he's threatening his career. I mean, it's getting pretty close where Memphis, it happens one more time. I think Memphis drops him.
Well, there was a lot of talk. That's why they let Dylan Brooks go. Is because they thought he was a bad culture person. Yes, but I don't know. It's sad.
All right, well, I'm sure we'll talk more about it over the summer. So.
I hope not. I hope that's the end of it.
We'll see.
By the way, I'm just noticing my email signature is.
I know, you're in big trouble. I already mentioned that earlier today.
I have broken.
I was going to mention it to Mike. I was going to let Mike deal with you.
Oh, please. I'll change it right now. Mike's my new boss. We don't need that. All right. Coming up next, speaking of boss, STE.
Oh, that's good.
I'll tell you about it next.
My name's Jamie Estry, and my Subaru is Freedom. I've had so many animals over the years. One of the things that I love about Mark Miller Subaru is they're the largest animal welfare supporter in the Salt Lake Valley. You may not even realize it, but they're probably supporting a nonprofit that you love in the community. And my wife and I, our daughter Harper, and our dogs, we're just so happy that we picked Mark Miller Subaru. Subaru is a brand that I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local retailer that I love.
Big wheels are turning.
STE.
What does that stand for, Jeffrey?
It's the new trademark that Subaru filed for last month on the new STI to make an electric STI.
Do they still own the trademark STI?
Yeah, I'll own that
Okay.
forever.
All right.
But the idea of it is that you can't make an STI in this country anymore because of the
Yes,
standards.
that's right.
It just doesn't work. And so the only way they're going to bring that sports car back is by making it electric. And they could make a pretty awesome electric STI. And I think it's in development. I have no proof of it. No one told me anything. No wink winks. But my guess is by 2027, 2028, you're seeing a brand new, awesome 500 horsepower electric.
Yeah, Car and Driver had an article about this a couple weeks ago. And when this happened, when the STI went away, we all looked at each other and went, well, it's got to be electric probably if they do it again. And this is the first proof that it is, that's where they're going.
Forward, because you don't trademark something unless you're going to use it, so usually.
And I think you're right. I think I think Subaru's, as great as the Solterra is, that is the pioneer of the electric
This is just
for
the
Subaru.
entry level. I
Yeah.
mean, Subaru came out, there's an article in Automotive News a couple of weeks ago that says by 2026, they're talking 4 models of electric vehicles. And that's only 3 years away.
That's 2.5, really.
Very soon.
Yeah.
So you're talking 4 models of electric vehicles. The factory in Japan, it's going to be a Subaru-only electric vehicle factory, will have the capacity by 2028 to build 400,000 EVs.
Wow.
To give perspective on that, Subaru in this country sold 630,000 cars last year.
Wow.
So they're cycling up to be a 50% EV company by the end of this decade.
That's, I think Subaru by
We gotta build some charging stations.
that we're gonna need some
We're gonna have to work on
outlets.
some of that stuff because we don't have anywhere to plug these
We're
in.
gonna need some outlets. And Subaru will have to be spelled with an E by the end of 2030. It's just gonna
Subi.
Subi. Yeah, hey, Sub-E.
We should really be in marketing.
Come on. Jeff Waters, give us a call. We got you. But yeah, I think that this is going to be, I think the STE will be the catalyst that Subaru becomes known for in the 2030s.
Yeah, that's gonna be the new. It's gonna be the new sports car. It's gonna be new off-road. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, so exciting.
All right, car tips.
Car tips. So someone that may or may not be named my brother is driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy.
He went and bought a branded tire.
No, he didn't yet.
Was he going to?
He's considered it heavily.
Because it's $3,000 cheaper.
It's like, actually, it's way more than that.
How much
The ones
cheaper?
he's been sending me is like $7,000 cheaper
Oh, what kind of car though?
on older Imprezas.
Okay.
Okay, with high miles.
So the rule of thumb, as a former sales manager who appraised vehicles, is you take whatever the value of the car is and divide it by 2. That's the rule of thumb on a salvage title. So if you have a $20,000 trade-in value, it's worth 10.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the rule of thumb. So if you're getting $7,000 off on that same car, it's not the best deal in the world, and it's going to be problems.
Yes.
What that means is that at some point it looked like that.
Exactly. And I'm not kidding. The 2 of the 4 that he has sent me, and we've done some research, with our Carfax and other avenues that we have here. 2 of those 4 were every airbag accident,
Yeah.
and yet the advertisement on them was like,
small little dent and ding.
it was just a little thing.
Just a little thing. So generally the law states that in order for us to total out a vehicle, I think it's 70% of value.
Okay, wow.
So our body shop, if we get estimates, and they do estimates, and the insurance estimate gets to over 70% of the value of the vehicle, it is a total. So imagine that. So if you have a $20,000 car, essentially you need to have $14,000 worth of damage on that car.
Wow.
So it means it was pretty well smashed up. It's not. It's modern day with everything in the cars. It's not really hard to get to a $14,000
Oh, no.
collision, but
Yeah.
it will never run the same. I mean, our guys are exceptional in the back. I mean, we have guys with 20 years experience. They're some of the best in the business. They can never make a car perfect. You're never going to get those angles 100% perfect. You're never going to get the creaks and the noises out of the car.
Well, even in small accidents.
Yeah, and some of these are flooded cars, and that's just brutal. You don't want to deal with that because you're going to have electrical issues for the rest of the time.
And so to play devil's advocate, though, with used car prices where they are, they've come down quite a bit. I tell customers all the time, I'm like, they've come down $3,000-$4,000, and they're like, wait, it's only $3,000-$4,000 more dollars to get a new car, and I forget that. What'd you have there? A little gin?
Scotch.
It goes down smooth. Scotch into my belly.
To my belly. I don't believe you.
I forget that $3,000-$4,000 is big to someone like us who's been watching this for a year and a half. So to the general person out there, it's not as big. So to play devil's advocate, when it's $7,000 lower, and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm never going to trade this car in anyway," the problem though is, well, you said you are really gambling that car's going to
and you could
work.
win. I mean, you could win. There's used car stores right on the street close to us that do nothing but that.
Yes.
So literally every vehicle on their lot is salvage tile.
And almost every vehicle is a Subaru.
And a lot of them and they disclose and they're telling people what it is. I mean, they're probably not saying it's as bad as what it is.
Yeah.
But it's playing the lotto. I mean, you just got to understand if you're buying one of those cars, there's a decent shot that you're going to have problems down the road with it. And understand there's a reason you're paying a lot less money for it.
It's kind of like the old adage, when you buy a used car privately, use the same caution as a man uses when climbing a barbed wire fence. Mm-hmm. But now you're naked climbing that same barbed wire fence.
Yeah,
so
it's very dangerous. So we stay away from it. We don't sell branded title vehicles here at no point ever, just because it's not worth it. And I mean, it's really a hard time even doing service on branded title vehicles here because you just never get them right.
Yep.
So,
all right, and then let's wrap up Wheels with Share the Love numbers, and congrats to the winner of the Return the Love event.
One $10,800. We returned it back. We had a cool event at Southtown a couple weeks ago where
so cool.
We had all the cars show up, and they were on it. And the marketing team did nationally. They did a great job setting this whole thing up and set off their guy's alarm. It's like, winner.
And that's who won the 3 years of payments.
I got a little nervous when we started stealing all of our customers' keys, but it's okay. It's like, really? We're going to take our customers'
I've heard of
keys?
key parties, but
Mike, really? This is the idea? But it worked, so he was right. I was wrong. I'll give it to him. I'm the first to admit it.
So that was fun.
I gave about $150,000 in checks.
No big deal.
No big deal.
About $150K.
Pretty awesome to two amazing nonprofits, Volunteers for America and Discovery Gateway. We're in the game planning right now for deciding who's going to be our Share the Love partners for this Christmas time. Should have those answers in the next little bit.
That's unbelievable that we're halfway to Christmas time.
We have to decide by July.
Oh my gosh.
Subaru's rules on it because they have to do all the marketing pieces and set all that up. So we have till I think it's like July 18th or something like that.
Well, thanks to everyone that participated in Share the Love to help us raise $150,000.
Now I'm excited. This year I think is going to be our biggest one yet. I mean, you look at what's happening with cars in this market and how many cars we're going to have on the ground by December. I mean, we could have 150, 200 car December and new cars at each store, which if we could do those numbers based on what we're doing, I mean, it could be $225,000 we could be giving, which would be amazing.
We're about to explode
Yeah.
in the next couple weeks.
We've got a lot of cars coming in, so it's going to
And foot traffic has really increased
Yeah.
in the last month.
which is good.
It's really good.
People are actually realizing
It's
they
exciting.
can actually walk in and walk out with the car.
I've had to take my toys home
Isn't that crazy?
that I used to pass the time with around the showroom
sorry.
floor. Yeah, like my Nerf
You have
guns
to
and
work and stuff.
I know. I got to earn my money instead of stealing it from Jeff Miller.
So sorry. All right, let's get out of Wheels.
HR at the door. We'll talk movies next.
We're going to have to delay this for a few minutes.
Hold on.
My name is Sierra Hudson. My Subaru is safety for my family. So this past winter, we hit a black ice and we just started to slide. And it was just one of those moments where you truly feel helpless. I know it's a car, but it means so much more to us and our family. Subaru is one of the safest brands, and I've personally lived that. Subaru is a brand you can trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local Utah retailer that you will love.
I promise to never do it again. Okay. We're back.
We gotta take care of it.
Yeah. All right.
It's the last warning.
Yeah.
We have a new co-host next week. You'll know why.
Enjoy the Goldsmith and Miller show. All right.
You can just scrape off that face inside of there.
Just shave Goldsmith's head
Just
and
add some hair. It'll pretty much do it.
give him a little more darker complexion. And oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. Can we get that done? That'd be funny.
Get a Goldsmith version. Just
Pull a prank on him. All right. Let's talk movies, Jeff. You saw a movie in the theaters we'll get to in a moment. This one is in the theaters now for a week.
Yet. Have you haven't seen it yet, but I've heard good things.
My favorite show right now at home is when we turn on the I Am Groot shorts on Disney Plus. Have you seen those? Mm-mm. They're phenomenal. They're like 6 minutes long.
Really?
And it's just the little tiny I Am Groot character just doing funny things.
Oh my gosh.
It's hilarious.
It's on Disney Plus, okay.
And so to see Groot is worth the ticket admission.
This is the last one, right?
It's the last one for now. They plan on it being the last one forever, but who knows? When it makes as much money as it has in a week, why end it? If you're the guy counting the coins at Disney, why would you want them to
Speaking
stop
of Disney,
this?
did you hear about the Star Wars thing?
Which one?
The Star Wars hotel that they built?
$5,000 a night?
Yeah, they're shutting it down.
I know.
Like after 2 years. They spent
gone.
like $1 billion building this hotel and they're just shutting it down.
$5,000 a night. Who can do that?
$5,000 a night. That's insane.
And it's cool, but it's not $5,000 a night. If it's $5,000 a night,
you better be able to do something pretty.
I want to live like a sultan for that night. Not a slave clone on Tatooine.
Not in a 300 square foot room with no windows. It's got a TV screen for a window.
Yeah, I want a literal magic genie to grant me wishes. All right.
All right, I'll call Disney and see if we can work that out. I'll call Bob Iger.
Get DeSantis on the phone.
I feel like he's got a good relationship. I think that could work.
They just canceled 2,000 jobs in Orlando.
Canceled $1 billion office complex.
Thanks to that president
now there's conversation
candidate
of like $17 billion going away, all their investment. I think Disney had plans for like $17 billion over the next decade. In Florida. It's a lot.
All right. Fast X or Fast 10? How are you going to say it? I don't know. How are you supposed to say it?
I don't know.
Because it's number 10, but it's marketed as Fast X.
I think it should be X. Well, you can't do X because now you're talking about like Triple X with Vin Diesel.
Or is it X Fast?
No, let's just move on.
No, we can't move on. We can't just move on because these are the greatest, dumbest, baddest, worst, greatest movies of all time.
And they get so many great, hilarious actors to jump in on these. Like John Cena's in it now.
That are just so stupidly bad and good at the same time.
Jason Momoa's in it now?
Jason Momoa, yeah. The Aquaman himself. Yeah. Who's going to be hosting Shark Week, by the way.
Man, they're just getting higher and higher budgets in this thing every.
This is supposed to be it. This is supposed to be the last one.
Wasn't that supposed to be that way on like 5, 6, 9, and 7,
and
12?
I've enjoyed every one of them, even though I've felt guilty enjoying every one of them.
I probably watched half. I don't think I've watched all of them.
That's a good. I mean, to be fair,
I don't think I've watched all 9.
That's true, and I couldn't. The 4 or 5 I've seen, I don't know that I could delineate between them either.
I think we should just spend a Sunday. We'll just lock the door to this office, put them all in here, and just go on a.
No, I don't know if I can take them all at once.
Could you watch 10 straight Fast and Furious?
No, there's got to be a year at least between each one.
Each one, yeah. Okay.
To then say, okay, I can watch cars blow up and bad acting for an hour and a half. Yeah.
So I actually went to a movie theater.
Okay, what'd you see?
Family. Saw Super Mario Brothers.
All right. What'd you think?
It was really good. Like it was really an entertaining movie. Like I went into it with very low expectations.
Really? Why?
Just because it just seems like it's going to be cheesy.
Well, they've never had a good Mario movie.
No,
ever.
It just seems like it's going to be really cheesy, but it was very well done. Like it was like for someone who grew up like starting playing video games, playing Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that, late 80s, things like that. Like they took the video game and put it into a movie extremely well. Like all the stuff with like you touch the flower and all of a sudden you become Fireball and throw fireballs, like stuff like that, like little stupid stuff, mushrooms and the little stupid raccoon's tail that makes them fly, like all the little stuff. Cat Mario was in it.
I forgot about Cat
and
Mario.
that's all from Super Mario 3, if I remember right, when that first came out.
Yeah.
Right?
On Super Nintendo.
On Super Nintendo, yeah. And that was like the launch of Super Nintendo. And then all the kart stuff, like all the Mario Kart stuff they had on the kart racing. Like, it was just really well done on that. And then you had Jack Black singing. Like, it was just funny.
And that's, I think, the cast is incredible.
Chris Pratt,
Charlie
Day, like
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Who's Princess? It's
Anya Joy Taylor, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
but I would definitely recommend it. It was really an entertaining show.
So
I'd watch it again.
My family watched it, and I saw the last 10 minutes.
And I went to a theater, even though I could have watched it in my own home.
So, and I want to ask you this, because this is a movie I'd want to see in the theater.
It was good in the theater.
Fast X is a movie I'd want to see in the theater.
I went to the Cottonwood Megaplex.
Oh, I love that Cottonwood. I love that Megaplex.
Too, like little small theaters.
They got the Mark Miller VIP up there.
Not anymore.
Oh, I don't?
No, we
Well, we enjoyed our time there. Remember we had a show release of Top Gun Maverick there?
We did.
That was fun.
That was fun.
All right, and then
last movie, Man Called Otto, came out in January.
It's 6 months old, but it's on Netflix now. And this is my life now, Jeff, with a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, is I see movies. I used to see movies 4 weeks early. Now I see them 5-6 months late.
And they come out on Netflix.
Yeah, yeah. When I can watch them in the middle of the night while everyone's sleeping.
I saw this back I think in January or February. What did you think?
I went into it like you did with Mario. I went into it with very low expectations just because of how great I was told it was. Mm-hmm. And I loved every second of it.
It's one of my favorite movies.
It might be his best overall movie.
Wow. That's it.
I know.
Big.
But I felt every single emotion during this movie.
It's
fear, laughter, anger,
dealing with loss,
grief,
sadness. Like, it's amazing.
And they don't hide from the stuff either.
No, it was extremely well
In fact,
done.
there's a disclaimer that runs at the beginning of it on Netflix. It says this shows depictions of suicide, and if you know someone or you are, and it has the suicide prevention number.
That's awesome.
So, which shocked me because I didn't know any of that was in this movie.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for it. Like, gotta be ready to go through that whirlwind of emotions to watch the movie. But it's extremely well done, and I would absolutely recommend it.
And I have viewed our elderly people differently since I saw this movie.
Good.
In a good way.
That's a good thing.
When I'm going 40 in the fast lane on the freeway, I'm now a little less mean about.
Stop flipping off elderly.
No, I'm not. I've never been a flip-off guy.
Yelling and screaming.
But I've
give him dirty looks.
I have been a.
Yeah, I can see it.
I have been a singing church songs at them type of person.
Okay, I got you.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of. All right, he's Jeff from Austin. Ashley behind the scenes. I forget our videographer's name. Katie. She's behind the scenes too. Yeah, we're on the camera. They should be the ones on the camera.
There you go.
But we're here. All right, episode 48. Check it off. Going for episode 49. Hopefully within the next month.
And then a big 50. Are we gonna have a celebration?
We might.
We should get like a party popper, make a mess in here.
They said we couldn't do it. They said we'd never make it to episode 50.
We never did.
We haven't yet. We'll get to it. He's Jeff from Austin. We'll be back next week. Until then, Utah by 5.
Trust me.